we all know that family members who don't have licenses are really good with the real estate market. We know this. We know this. But they said, yeah, you're going to regret it. Mm-hmm. And what ended up happening years later is I just really regretted that I didn't go for it. Right?
Denver's best for news and views. Lane's World.
Welcome back, everyone, to Lane's World. So glad you're here. Don't forget to like and press that subscribe button because we are growing our audience here at Lane's World. Today, we're talking about something that comes up quite a bit in real estate. It's real estate regret. I don't know why, but I have a good feeling that because real estate and residential real estate in particular is emotional, we have a tendency to look back and say, oh, if only I would have held on to that property, or, oh, if only I would have done this or made this choice. And we as realtors oftentimes hear this story from our clients quite a bit. So today I'm excited to have a friend here in the studio, Fabiola Roll, who has been in the business for some time. Hey, Fabiola, welcome.
Hi, Lane. How are you?
So glad to have you here in Lane's World. What do you think?
I'm so excited. Your house is beautiful.
Oh, well, we're glad to have you for sure.
Your studio is beautiful.
Well, hey, welcome, right? This is what we like to do. But let's talk a little bit about real estate regret. And I think that sometimes I have to look at myself when I think about this topic, because I have bought and sold my own homes for a long time, and there was always that one that got away. Yes. Can you think of a time that you've worked with clients where they've come back later and said, oh, I'm kicking myself. I wish I would have done something different.
Yes. And after showing hundreds of homes, I know the feeling and the face, the expressions that clients make when they walk into a home and they absolutely love it.
Oh, yeah.
And
they light up.
This one in particular, they walked in, they absolutely loved the home. It was perfect for them and their family. But it was the first home that they were seeing.
For the first time out, first house they saw. Okay.
First time. So, they decided not to put an offer because they felt it was too soon. It was the first home.
Yes.
And then that home was off the market right away. And they wish they had placed an offer. They wish they had gone for it. So sometimes it's not necessarily that whether it's the first home or the last one or the 100th home that you see, is whether or not when you walked in, does it feel like home to you?
Yes, right.
So if when you walk into a home and does it feel like you can see yourself living in it, go for it. Because, even now, even in these times where we see homes sitting, in the market for 30, 40 days, it might just be that one day that 2-3 people see the same home that you did, and 2-3 people put an offer.
Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden
but it can
you're
happen.
Like, it does happen. And I've had this conversation so many times where someone says, this is the house, but it's the first one we're seeing.
Yeah.
So what do we do?
What else is out there?
Right. What else is out there? And so I find myself saying this, and that is that while I totally understand, you are in love and you don't know what else is out there, but I've worked with enough clients to know that if we don't pull the trigger, we may spend the next month trying to find something else that lives up to this one.
Yeah, or that is just like that one, right?
We may not find another one that really fits the bill, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that to me is a big real estate regret. Like, I should have just gone for it.
Yeah.
I think about one time when I was before I was in real estate, one of the first homes my partner and I were looking at buying, it was in Central Park, and it just happened to be very near the Denver County Jail. I love the house, though. And I had people who, I got a lot of opinions, a lot of cooks in the kitchen, a lot of family members who were like, oh, that's going to hurt your property value. Now, we all know that family members who don't have licenses are really good with the real estate market. We know this. We know this. But they said, yeah, you're going to regret it. And what ended up happening years later is I just really regretted that I didn't go for it, right? Because all these years later, I think I would have still loved that house, and the jail had absolutely no bearing on the value. On the value.
I always tell my clients and you, my friends, myself, nobody knows better what we want than ourselves. Yes. So we have to listen to ourselves, and maybe sometimes stop asking for so many opinions,
Sure.
right? So first listen to you. It's always good to get feedback. But
We're the ones that are going to live there,
yeah,
right?
nobody knows better than you what is best for you.
Oh, I can tell your clients feel taken care of when they are out there for sure. Because that self-doubt creeps in. And the truth is, with real estate, it is in Chris McGatt, who at Coldwell Banker just made so many great impressions on people as the president for a long time here in Colorado. But I love one line he used, which is, real estate is the greatest get-rich slow scheme there is out there, right? So it's such an emotional decision, but it's such a great investment decision that, if it feels right, then you've got to do your homework. You've got to rely on people like Fabiola and myself to bring the data to the table. But at the end of the day, it is your decision.
Yes, just be prepared.
Be prepared, right? And know that it may be the first one you see.
Yeah.
The other regret that I'm seeing in this current market is because it's been a little bit slower, there's some flexibility in pricing and things like that. And so what ends up happening is I work with buyers who are thinking, how low can we go? Like, how much room is there to negotiate?
Right.
And sometimes there can be regret when you send in a lower offer. And then you find out that just at the last minute, and it always happens that way, someone else came in and beat you out. And you think, I should have just gone in a little bit higher. Have you had that happen?
Oh, absolutely. And in that case, what I always ask my clients and friends is to think, are you prepared to walk away from this home? So when we submit that offer, if you don't get it, if you're going under, right? If you don't get it, are you going to be okay with that?
Yes.
And then, then they can think and fast forward. I want you to imagine how it's going to feel, whether when they say, yes, your offer was accepted, or no, your offer was not accepted, and they took another one. So if you're going to be okay with that decision, then let's go ahead and submit this. Otherwise, are you sure you want to stay here, or do you want to go a little bit higher? And then Lane, what do you think about that? And also, $10,000, how much is that a month?
Oh, sure. Amortized over 30 years, right?
Yes. So
it comes back to a question that I like to ask clients as well, and that is, how bad do you want this house? Like, how bad do you want it? Because the truth is, if we really, really, really want it, I don't think I would gamble by going in lower. I don't think I would open up the risk that someone else is going to come in and scoop this out from under us. So be careful with that strategy. But to your point, if you're okay either way, and if we could get it for this lower price, we're fine. But if we don't get it, we're okay.
Yeah, because sometimes we like a home for a certain price. And that's okay too, right? So like if you like this home for this much, and then if you cannot get it for that price, then you're okay looking for the next one, then sure.
Okay, great. Fabiola Roll has been with us today. This has been such a fun conversation. Do you have a real estate regret in your own life? Can you think about a house that you let go? Or
Yes, because, I wish I would have held on to that house and kept it as a rental.
Yes.
My first home, it was a beautiful townhome on the west side of town and overlooking the mountains. It was a tiny, tiny penthouse on the third floor, and we sold it to buy our first single-family home. So I wish we would have kept that one.
Oh, if only, right? If only. And of course,
if
we look
only
back
I had known.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know. I really do admire some of the fellow agents out there who like to tell their clients, look, real estate, we don't sell real estate, we hold on to real estate.
Yeah.
And of course, that's in a perfect world too, that we don't need our proceeds, or we can figure out some other way to kind of pull some money and hold on to it. So if you can hold on to real estate, take it from us. A lot of regret comes from letting go of real estate.
Yes.
And I have a long list of ones that I sold along the years. I'm like, I wish I would have held on to. But, and I mentioned this once on an Instagram reel, that I had this dream house that I found a couple of years ago. And it was right when the market coming out of COVID started to get really crazy.
Yeah.
And the agent called, and I had a great offer in, I thought, and the agent called and said, you're never going to believe this, but the people who have submitted an offer against you have offered $100,000 more than the asking price. And I thought, you're out of your mind. Forget about it. Well, what ended up happening, in 2022, 2021 into 21, that was the norm for a while.
Yes.
And then when I would have been okay if I just would have followed my gut and stayed with it. That was a lot of money, but goodness gracious. So I think at the end of the day, there's going to be regrets along the way when you're making these kind of investments. But the reality is you're not alone out there. You've got people like Fabiola kind of watching over you and helping you understand that if you're falling in love, if this is the one, then don't try to avoid or minimize the risk of regret. Would you say that's the main thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Fabiola, this has been fun.
Thank you for having me over.
Thanks for coming over to Lane's World for a couple of minutes. It was a great time having you here. And remember, if you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to press like. We are growing our Lane's World out there. And subscribe so you know when the very latest videos are posted. Fabiola, thanks again.
Thank you, Lane.
Have a great day. We'll see you later.
The proceeding was a production of Murphy Creek Media, Aurora, Colorado. All rights reserved. For more real estate insights, look for Lane's World on YouTube and wherever you stream your podcasts.